Hey, good evening. It's Friday, May 23rd. Welcome back to Everyday Talk 24/7. I'm looking specifically at the issue of the impact of pornography and how young women can trust what young men and men say that they're done with pornography. So the thing is, should you believe a man when he says, I used to do porn, but that's all in the past? Should she take him at his word for that? To know, if you want to find out if pornography is an issue in a young man's life, you must not trust their words. I'm going to go into reasons for that, but you must observe his actions. There's going to give reasons why you can't do that, but that we can be deceived. We can tell very convincing stories to ourselves and to others why a young man might be done with porn. But again, I've done enough counseling. I've heard this scenario. I've talked to women that have heard this scenario. I've talked to men that have told me these things, and they're still caught in the grips. What is pornography? Real quickly, just to define the term. It's from the Greek word porneia. It's we find in Matthew 5:32, which is most frequently translated as sexual immorality. And that means any kind of sexual immorality, any type of sexual perversion. And then combined with graph or graphy, which means to write. So pornography is a graphic presentation of sexual perversion. It's a graphic presentation of sexual perversion. This can be in the form of videos and films. It can be in the form of still photographs. It can be in the form of artwork, human created and drawn artwork. It can be in the form of written words. It can be spoken, visual, or verbally. And most significantly, which I think that this is the one that gets overlooked, another way that porn happens is from the memories that are stored in our minds and in the neural pathways in our brains. That's the foe. That's where it's coming from, this graphic presentation of sexual perversion. Literally, and again, you can look at the studies from this. It's not hard to find. There's plenty of books written on it. You can go to Google, you can go do your search engines. But pornography rewires the brain to create an increasing demand for more pornographic consumption and stimulation. The brain is literally being rewired. Okay, so why is this important? For a young woman wanting to determine if a man can be trusted, that he is fully repentant of porn, as I said, you cannot trust his words. Here are 3 biblical realities that all of us, but especially a woman wanting to know that they have to embrace and understand. Romans 6:16 tells us, porn users are slaves to the lustful desires that they have created. Do you not know that when you offer yourselves to someone as obedient slaves, which is exactly what a porn user does, you are slaves to the one you obey? Their desires, a man who is caught up in pornography, you can't trust his words, and his desires, which he says are for you, they're not for your pleasure, they're for his. He may be deceived, but pornography keeps someone from being really genuinely interested in someone else and does everything for their own pleasure. Porn users, pornography, view women and people in general as objects. See, instead of having the faithful commitment that Ephesians 5 talks about, husbands should love their bodies, their wives as they love their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself. For no one has ever hated his own flesh, but nourishes and cherishes it, just as Christ does for the church. That means there's a selfless, sacrificial caring. Porn users don't do that. They view women, people in general, and women specifically, as objects, something to satisfy their desires. Women become objects. They become a means to satisfy man's lusts and cravings. They are not sacrificially served. Rather, they are selfishly manipulated for a man's pleasure. Another reason why you can't trust the words that are coming out of his mouth. Even he may want to genuinely be telling the truth, but if repentance hasn't happened, you can't trust it. And then thirdly, porn users of pornography, consumers of pornography, are double-minded and therefore deceptive and self-deceived. James tells us that we must believe and not doubt, because the one who doubts is like a wave of the sea, blown and tossed in every direction. That person is a double-minded man and unstable in all he does. What that means is that the person given to pornography, all they want is to manipulate someone, the woman in this case, to get what they want from them. And they'll go to any lengths to do it. They'll deceive themselves. Their motives are not pure. Their words are not pure. You can't trust them. Pornography causes men to deceive others and themselves. They become unstable because they are trying to serve two masters, their desires and God, if they're claiming to be Christians. So someone engaged in pornography is not loving you, but rather he's attempting to satisfy his own lusts and his need to control. That's the ugly reality. Again, that's why you can't trust their words, because they're deceiving and they're self-deceived. As I said a minute ago, pornography rewires the brain to create an increasing demand for more and more. What God intended to be exclusively for the secret, beautiful, special bedroom of marriage has become a public commodity and pursuit of men enslaving themselves to their own cravings, which is what we see in Proverbs 5, where Solomon says, don't be infatuated with somebody else's wife, somebody else's body. Be taken by your wife's body. That's what you're supposed to be excited about. So, for a young woman trying to determine, if she wants to determine if a man is really being honest about pornography and turning from it into repentance, here are 3 questions that she can ask. And she can observe him by doing this. Is he a slave to his desires? And by careful observation, you can see, are the things he wants really designed to bring pleasure to you or to bring pleasure to him, and he's just trying to get you to do what he wants, but telling you it's all for you? Secondly, does he view the least important people with respect, especially those who offer him no advantage in life? If he's not treating people that are not going to immediately benefit him with honor and respect, he's someone who's given to manipulation, someone that you can't trust. Users of pornography are double-minded. They are caught in an internal power struggle of trying to get what they want without letting you know that they want it, making you think that it's up to you. And then lastly, young women, ask yourself this question: who is he really serving? Is it about you, or is it about what he wants from you? You cannot trust their words. You must not be guided by your own emotions. That's why you can't let your emotions leave the station. You've got to keep them in check until you are positive that he's prepared to make a commitment. And if pornography is in the picture, he's not going to be prepared to make a commitment, only to himself. This means with careful observation, you must see what he honors. This means you must observe whether or not he manipulates or serves. This means that his attempts to care for you are really manipulative ploys to get what he wants. Wrapping it up, you must be willing to observe whether or not his actions show a heart that is repentant. And repentance means you're going one way and then you're going the opposite way. Has he gotten the help that repentance would require? Has he gone through, not you, but has he gone through with someone the things that drove him to pornography? So we can just see the vast extent of just how destructive it is. See, words cannot determine this repentance, only his obedient actions. Listen to his actions, not his words. Listen to his actions and not his words. Tomorrow I'll go in a little bit about what that repentance of these young men should look like. But if you're a young woman, if you know woman who's out trying to figure out, can I trust him? Please take a look at this video. I'm not being cynical or nasty towards the men. They can't believe their own words, and neither should you. Pornography is a serious problem. And men, we've got to change, and we've got to get men to change it. But women, young women, you've got to take these steps to honor God and protect yourself. Again, love your thoughts and feedback. This is a little bit longer tonight, but no easy way to get through it. Thanks for being here, and Lord willing, we'll see you tomorrow. Again, thanks so much for your thoughts. Bye-bye.